Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Let's Talk the Talk, the show where conversations empowered, inspired, and connect. I'm Bintu Aizatu, and today we are looking at youth, leadership, and global citizenship in Liberia, and how young people can rise with confidence and purpose. Our guest today is the Deputy Executive Director of Model United Nations Liberia and a mentor and a strong voice for youth participation and global awareness. Mr. Tom Deozil Wonkpah, welcome to Let's Talk the Talk.
Thank you very much. It's a good thing to be on this platform. It's a good thing to share our thoughts. And then we want to appreciate you and your team for inviting us to this great platform so we can be able to share our thoughts. Thank you so much.
Okay. Can you please tell us a little about yourself and the work you are currently involved in?
So, like she said, I'm Tom Deozil Wonkpah Jr., an ambassador of the Model United Nations and also the executive director of the TD Wonkpah School of Leadership. So I'm currently serving the Model United Nations Liberia as the deputy executive director and mentor leaders and a friend to too many friends. Thank you.
Okay, so can you please tell us what first awakened your passion for youth leadership?
So one of the main reasons that brought this passion and the establishment of the TD Wonkpah School of Leadership, we observed that too many young people were getting involved with organization activities, running their organization, establishing their own institution, for which was a brilliant idea. But we noticed that most of them lacks the ability to run this institution. So we thought it wise as institution to mentor young CEOs, president, executive directors on how to lead and manage their organization. Right. So we were basically teaching leadership, public speaking, entrepreneurship, and organization behavior or organization management, so that executive directors, CEO, president would be able to lead and manage their team in a very, very much respectful ways. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so being the executive director of the TD Wonkpah School of Leadership, how has it been, like working with young people, with your peers? How has it been?
Well, it's always a challenge. Challenge in the sense that from the volunteerism perspective, there are a lot of people see volunteerism as a problem in short that they are not paying, they're not taking paid, they are not being accommodated. So they normally don't put their full time, their effort, or the willingness to do things as expected from the organization perspective, something like that. So most time you have me running around doing a lot of things and talking to people, encouraging them. But it has been a really challenge to have a full team on board to see how best they can work together to make a success of the institution. One of the challenges there again is that getting people involved to be a part of the process, be a part of the activities. You know, we live in a social society, in an educational society. You find out that there are a lot of young people will invest their own hard-earned money into social activities, like for example, there's gathering and the beaches or pools or whatever thing that people go to merry-make, have fun or something like that. People will prefer paying $50, $100 US just to go and see these things, right? But even if you offer an educational activities for free, just to have them, you won't have many people coming up. You just have few people coming up, and sometimes it breaks down your effort to see you try to invest in the human resource, but a lot of people don't want to take it. And so they will have to join the people to start investing in the social economy since that and the young people don't want to get involved. But it's a fun, we gain a lot of experience from there, the challenges, but I think we are far better than them now because we're able to gain our popularity, we're able to gain our audience, and have a unique audience that follow our activities.
Okay, so the TD Wonkpah School of Leadership, is it just limited to Liberians or it is beyond?
Okay, so I was strengthened from the TD Wonkpah School of Leadership last in the international students. So when we say last in the international student, we're talking about out of 100% of our students, we have 75% of our students coming from outside Liberia. That is to say, we have students in Guinea, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, and Rwanda. So we have most of our students outside of the country because it's an online platform. So you have people getting involved. Even our lecturers, okay, we have some of our lecturers from outside Liberia, and then we have some here. So people apply using the link to join our community, and then we bring in our lecturers. They talk to them on things that matter to their life. But coming to our national students, yes, we have very few, and they participate. But then sometimes it's like attending classes 3 times a week in the night. It's like disturbing that time. The time they take in to be in classes, take that time to be on another thing, either in some kind of social grouping or some kind of pool party or some kind of gathering in the night. So it's a difficult thing. This sends a serious message to our national government and we that come as young people. Are we prioritizing education or are we prioritizing socialism or social activities? We need to look at that very seriously because it's a good thing to merry-make. It's a good thing to release stress from your mind, but we need to have priority as a young people because I believe the burden of this country rests on the shoulder of every young person in the country. If we prioritize education, I think in the next few 10 years or 10 years time, we'll be able to give back to our society in a very positive way. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. It is actually amazing to be able to bring young people together, bring your peers together so you guys can work on something meaningful.
Okay.
So let's talk about the Model United Nations Liberia. So being the Deputy Executive Director of Model United Nations Liberia, at what point did you realize that young people or young Liberians need to think globally?
From the Model United Nations perspective, we believe that young people should have an international mindset.
Okay.
Because the world we live in right now is evolving. It's a global village.
Yeah.
The idea of limiting our mindset to just our little corner we have or we are in is a big mistake that we're making continuously. It's now time that we develop our mind to the international perspective. And when I say international perspective, I'm saying that young people should engage into international activities.
All right.
Young people should engage into peace building. Young people should engage into global governance issue. That is, young people should also foster empathy and multiculturalism, respect for humanity. Young people should engage accurately. Young people should see themselves as a way of light, as a way of finding solutions, as a way of making things happen, not the other way around. You know, when we say young people should think globally, you should be able to think just as people in the West thinking. Not that they are better than us, not that they have the facility, yes, some of them, but it's take the individual. I tell you no lie, sometimes the places we go when we're going for conferences, we perform very well. We put ourselves together when we try to rethink our ideas. But then when we come back home, we just become very different. I don't know if we have something on this land that the moment you come back to Liberia, your entire mindset has to change. No, I'm being very serious because if a Liberian leaves this country and go out, he or she thinks very well. Not that people here don't think, but the moment they come back home, they become very different. That brings me to the rule of law. If you leave this country as a young person or any other person move from here and go outside Liberia, he or she willing to abide by every law there. He or she willing to act in accordance with every regulations. If they say, do not throw dirt on the street, we won't do that. We won't dare do that. But the moment you reach the RIA or the border against the Liberia, you start to become very different. And then we start to shift things on government. No! We are the future of this country. We are the leader of this country. We are emerging leaders. Therefore, we must act now. Let us think that the way all the young people think in outside the country. Let us not narrow our mind to just being a Liberian, or Liberian, or Liberian. The moment we continue to develop that fixed mind, the moment we continue to limit ourselves every day, and every day. So we should enhance in international visibility. Okay? We should look at how young people behaves in other countries and put ourselves in the shoe so that we can be computing in a positive way, not a negative side. Thank you.
Okay. While we are computing the positive way, right? Not the negative way. Not someday, but now. Like, how will you explain the idea of a global citizen in a very simple way?
The ideas of a global citizen in a very simple way.
Yeah.
Engages young people in the sustainable development goal, peace building, build civil responsibility. Young people should be able to take on responsibility and ethical leadership.
All right.
Ethical leadership also, young people should be able to see themselves, to put themselves in another person's shoe. That brings in empathy. To be able to tolerate another person, even though we are not from the same ethnic groups, we are not from the same religious group, but let us coexist. Let's live together. Let's live as one people. Let's do away with criticism. Let's do away with bullying. Let's live together. Let's see ourselves as a same. And then once we see ourselves doing that, we can live happily without fear.
So whilst living happily without fear, so from your experience of moving from Liberia to Sierra Leone to Guinea, what does leadership look like for young Liberians today?
So everyone sees leadership from a different perspective.
All right.
So, but I would recommend how we should see leadership. Some things that leadership is a position to brag about or to boast about. Some see leadership to be a boss position. Some see leadership that everyone should worship you. No. From my perspective, I think every young people that get involved with leadership should see themselves as a servant.
Okay.
You should work to serve people. The same people who made you their leader, you should work to serve them. Being a leader, it doesn't mean that you are far more better than the people you are leading. No. The opportunity given you means that you should be the face or you should be the head. That means you should be able to lead people. If they lack direction, you should be able to provide it. Not the other way around, you know. Sometimes when I see people like, I'm the leader, I'm the head. You know, this came to my attention when we celebrated the 80th anniversary of the United Nations. So we were in Kakatan and we were in the room. You know, the room, we crowded up. You don't know who's in the room. President Joseph Newman Bwaga was there. He was the keynote speaker. Madam Cyril Besto Yanti was there. The UN country resident was there. I was there. Too many people, in fact, all of the head of agencies in the United Nations were there. So we were seated opposite them. This guy, I don't know him, and I don't want to know. He stood before me trying to record, and then I said, "Excuse me, sir, will you please push up?" He was like, "No." The EPS came and talked to him. He went back. When the EPS left, the guy came and stood at the same place, blocking us. So the moment we knocked his shoulder, "Brother, please go back." I don't know, he was sitting with two persons. "You know who he's speaking to? Do you know who he is?" I was like, "Who is he? Do you also know who I am?" He said, "Yes." Says you want to show. I said, "This is not who the place, right? You have so many leaders in this room. You have so many people in the room, different organization, different background, different perspective. This is not a who know you place because every one of us here, we are a leader in our own way." Sure. So when you come to a place like this, you need to calm down because you never know who's seated next to you. So this just tells you that this is a Liberian behavior. That, do you know who I am? Do you know who my father is? Do you know what do I have? Come on. This is not about leadership, right? Leadership is about serving. It's about delivering. It's about imparting knowledge. If you are a leader today out there and nobody can boast of your impact in their life or the community can talk about it, you are not a leader.
All right.
You are mere jokers. You are a self-seeking glory person. And you mean nothing, but you're just an individual, not a leader. Because a leader should be able to deliver. A leader should be able to impact. A leader should be able to coach. A leader should be able to give back to the society. That's how I see it.
A leader should be able to impact, coach, and give back to the society.
Right.
So with all of what you have explained, can you share one moment that show you the impact of all of the experiences you have had?
Yes. I don't want to brag, but there are so many impact from my little work I've been doing. So if you go out now today, if you take your crew, you go out now today and ask people or go to places that I've been to, the impact Tom has made in this country out of Liberia will speak for itself.
Okay.
So you understand? Common example, the Model United Nations Liberia, the T.D. Wonkpah School of Leadership, the Dream International Model United Nations Conference, the Kofi Annan University of Guinea Model United Nations Conference, and so many organizations, the Campus Liberia, Bureau for Clean Ocean, so many organizations out there. The impact has been made. We contribute positively. We coach people how to go about doing things. We go there. We see things in a disorganized manner. We don't criticize. See, you need to follow up exactly what I said if you want to succeed, if you want to make life. Don't forget, at the end of it, you need to understand that pride kills everyone.
Okay.
So you need to humble yourself, you need to be calm, you need to recognize that you have to coexist with people to make life better. Yeah.
Alright, so before we wrap up, every guest leave us with 3 words. 3 words you want young people to carry with them after this conversation. So what are your 3 words to every young person out there?
So I just have 3 things to say. Number 1, diplomacy, negotiation, and leadership.
Diplomacy, negotiation, and leadership. So why you choose the 3 words?
So the reason I talk about diplomacy, I think diplomacy is the best way to solve a problem. The ideas of protestation, violence, we should get rid of it.
Okay.
Let's be civil. Let's sit around the table. Let's negotiate. Let's be a diplomat to see how best we can resolve issues.
Thank you, Mr. Wonkpah, for sharing your insights and experiences with us. You have reminded us that leadership begins within and global citizenship begins at home. This is Let's Talk the Talk, the show where conversations empower, inspire, and connect. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment too as well. Thank you.